I really want to know about these YouTubers. Alright, time to upload the video.
We were like so cringe back then. You know what? Sometimes I wonder if the olden days of YouTube were better. You know, the days before Cocomelon and Brainrot Shorts. When it was just a platform of people who were just making content for fun and, you know, they got views for just making good content. So I was wondering one day, why not let's shoot a video, but produce it like 2012? Not like, you know, a fancy short movie from 2012, but like just, you know, your average YouTube video made by some amateur. And so that's gonna be the topic of today's video, I guess. Now, 2012 was, in my opinion, one of those golden years in, you know, technology. iOS looked like this. This was the dominant version of Windows. YouTube looked like this, if you had an iPad at least. But yeah, the good days. And before we get started, I'd like to give a huge thank you to anyone who just subscribed, viewed, liked, or commented on my previous video on Windows 7. It means a lot to me. Thank you, guys. And without further ado, let's get started. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the camera selection. Now, I don't have any phones from 2012, but oddly enough, the camera you're seeing my face on right now is from 2012. It's a Canon EOS Rebel T4i. However, this was definitely beyond what an amateur probably would have used for videos of the day. Oddly enough, I actually did find an old camera from that time in some bin around my house. It's my mom's old iPad mini from 2012, and it's sold, in fact, that it won't run anything beyond iOS 9, which, if you don't know, is from 2015. So this thing is almost 10 years behind software updates at this point. And now that I have a camera, let's get recording. Overall, I can describe the editing process as this. Windows Movie Maker, while it did automatically generate proxies, the timeline was not a single line. It's kind of like editing a video, but you're typing a document. It was really weird and unintuitive, and equally as unintuitive was the process itself as a whole, exacerbated by the fact that you couldn't exactly split text, or as they called it, captions. And perhaps the worst element of Windows Movie Maker, as I found, was the fact that you couldn't exactly point to a specific time frame in the timeline. You either had to point to these dedicated like keyframes at some arbitrarily decided time frame, or you had to go to one of those time points and then drag with your mouse to your desired location. It was awful. That was perhaps the worst part of it, I will say. And honestly, it just gave me a ton of headaches. Like, quite frankly, more than I got from transitioning from NCH VideoPad over to Resolve. Now, shooting a video for 2012 is pretty straightforward. You just point your camera at you and start recording. Back in the day, there wasn't as much pomp and circumstance to videos as there are nowadays, because back in the day, people actually had attention spans. These days, you basically need a whole blown setup to make any of a decent video to compare to your peers. And now let's address Windows Movie Maker. Sure, there were more advanced programs back in the day, but this was pretty much what everybody used, at least the amateurs. And I've already described it. Not only does it look like it's 100 years old, it works like it's 100 years old. There were just so many parts that needed to be oiled and, you know, greased that it was basically unusable for any sort of long-term production. Was this project fun? Was the shooting fun? Yeah. Was the editing fun? Heck no, absolutely not. It was an absolute nightmare. And the pain is worth whatever this video turned out as. Hey everybody, today we'll be doing the Candy Challenge. And without further ado, let's get started. Alright, candy number 1.
Twix?
Correct.
Nice. Is it an airhead?
Ah,
What?
Jolly Ranchers gummy.
Oh. Alright, next. Smarties.
Now,
What?
Sweet Tarts Smartie kind.
Yikes. That was definitely a very interesting journey back to 2012. The days of crude animations, challenges, and Adobe Flash playback. And if you guys want me to take a look at Adobe Flash and the games that were once associated with it, comment below and maybe I'll do it one day. But yeah, subscribe, like, comment, whatever people tell you to do these days, and have a good day.